Hey guys, Foxdrop here. Welcome to another one of my person sits in the corner, gameplay in the background videos. I haven't done one of these in a little while, and today I wanted to talk about something that's been on my mind a little bit this season. And now that the season is over, season 6 has ended and season 7 is fast approaching. Before we get onto season 7 content, I really wanted to do a video talking about what I've been feeling about that kind of like the overall mood and like, I don't know how to best put it, but mood is a good word for season 6. Kind of just like the atmosphere of it. And basically how I feel like season 6 has been the season of whinge bags, of whiners, of moaners, of perpetual complainers. And it's just been getting under my skin, man. And I wanted to do a little video just to finish the season off, just ranting a little bit about how crap the whole kind of environment around the community was for season 6. And also with a little bit of a message of how I think we can be more positive and more grateful of the things that are actually good about League of Legends rather than just the negative stuff. Before I should really start, there's some things you should know about me. The first thing you need to know about me is that I'm English. That may come as a bit of a surprise to some of you guys in the comments, in my comment sections on YouTube. I've seen some of you say, oh, what accent is that? Is he Australian? I don't really know how you think I'm Australian, to be honest with you. Maybe it's because I'm a native English speaker that isn't American and I don't have a ridiculously thick French accent or something from Europe where I sound really like I'm obviously not an English speaker. I don't really know what it is, but I'm not Australian, I am English. And yes, for those of you guys as well, it may come as a surprise if you play with me in game when I'm playing on EU and you're like, what the hell, I thought Foxdrop was NA. How? Genuine question, how did you think I was from NA? I don't sound American in the slightest, but either way, for those groups of people who are surprised by this revelation, yes, I'm English. And as an Englishman, there are certain things that we do quite well. Racial passives, we'll say, just like your World of Warcraft characters, English people have racial passives as well. First of which, we're very good at queuing. We're very good at forming a line in an orderly fashion and waiting our turn. Second thing we're good at doing is not drawing attention to ourselves when other people are drawing attention to themselves, to be very disapproving but not in a confrontational way. We'll look at them, we'll give them weird looks, we'll roll our eyes at them, and of course, something we'll do all the time is we'll tut under our breaths like that. Another thing we're good at doing is moaning, which is a bit ironic considering the video I'm making. I'm kind of moaning about moaners, but you know, it's something that every Englishman likes to do. I'm no exception. I'm quite a fan of moaning. You come home from a long day of work, you put on the kettle, you boil the kettle, you have a nice cuppa, and you have a nice good old moan to the missus after work about Bobby from the stall next door who's had his tuna sandwich brought in for lunch again. It stunk out the whole bloody office. Unbelievable. I like a good moan. However, I also do have limits, which is where this relevancy to the video comes from. There are very few things that get under my skin. I like to consider myself a very laid-back person. I'm someone who doesn't really look at actions. I look more at intentions, which leads me to be very hard to actually insult, very hard to actually annoy, because I just don't give a shit. I'm very laissez-faire, I'm very laid back. I couldn't give a toss, really. People can be very horrible to me, tell me they wish me to go die, that I am terrible, that my family should get cancer, all that lovely business. Doesn't bother me, really. It's not very pleasant, but I really don't give a shit. But when people just constantly whine in League of Legends, that is my kryptonite. That gets under my skin a lot. When people just don't stop typing in the chat and are just like whining endlessly, like, oh, why are you doing this? What are you doing? What are you doing now? What's going on here? What are you doing? Just really annoys me. Just shut up. Just zip it, and really pisses me off. Endless whining just gets on my nerves. Like, why? Why are you endlessly going to be whining? So maybe that's why I want to make this video. Because maybe it's something that's triggered me a little bit too much, because it hits a bit close to home, because it is my weak spot, my Achilles heel, of where I just don't have time for people who constantly whine. There's enough good in the world for you to not be choosing to focus on the negatives and whine non-stop 24/7. What I mean specifically when this comes to the League of Legends community, I think the biggest offender of this one was Dynamic Q. Now, Dynamic Q came out, and I want to preface this by saying I'm not a fan of Dynamic Q. I don't really think there was any purpose to releasing Dynamic Q. I don't think it fixed anything that needed to be fixed. I don't think there's anything broken. I don't really think it introduced elements to the game that needed to be introduced. I don't really feel like they had much purpose, honestly. But having said that, if you listen to the community and their comments about Dynamic Q, you'd thought that Dynamic Q strolled into their house, ripped their loved ones from their arms, pulled them out onto the streets and just gunned them down and then tore their heads off and mounted them on a pike in front of their home. it wasn't really that bad, honestly, in my personal opinion. The thing with dynamic queue is, in my opinion, it kind of brought out people's human nature to an extent, the bad side of the human nature, where we always want something to blame. When it comes to solo queue, when it comes to League of Legends, we've always got something that backs up our own shortcomings, our own... Oh, that is my phone going off. Not right now, private number. Always something to complain, to kind of like protect ourselves. When we make a mistake, we've always got something backed up so that we don't look bad, so that it's something else's fault. Elo hell is the whole kind of like culmination of this. People complaining about elo hell. The reason why people get angry in League most of the times is because they're angry at their teammates. Again, deflecting blame. And really, I just think dynamic queue for this season was the scapegoat. Like, people were saying that they couldn't climb in dynamic queue because, you know, they're always coming up against 3-man pre-mates, 4-man pre-mates, and they couldn't beat, you know, it was impossible to beat them with their team of solo queue players. Firstly, that wasn't even really true. Apparently, if you had a pre-made of more than 3 in your game, you had like a 55% chance to win. Yes, you had more chance to win against like solo queue players, but that's not exactly like a 100% loss. Still, more importantly though, is that the overwhelming amount of games played with the same amount, with like a 3-man pre-made or 4-man pre-made or 5-man pre-made, would have been played against another 3-man pre-made, 4-man pre-made, 5-man pre-made. So it really wasn't like skewed as far as that goes at all, because the games were really like very even. But people weren't very convinced by that. They would say that that was the reason they weren't climbing and stuff like that. My peak elo this season was Master Tier Promos. I got into a Master Tier Promos, so I was playing pretty high elo, and I only can think of like half a dozen times when I played against a pre-man of 3 or more. When I played completely solo, I can only think of like half a dozen times. There was actually one time where I thought I went against a 5-man pre-made that had ridiculously high synergy. They were really, really bloody coordinated. They just counted every play I made, had really good vision, really good synergy. It was like one of the hardest games I've ever played, and we got stomped. And I was like, that was definitely a 5-man pre-made. And I looked it up, none of them were pre-made. Full team of solo queue players just stomped us like that. You know, and that's just how it is. And that stuff would have happened when it came into solo queue, duo queue as well. Like season 5 and every season before that. It would have happened as well. Like, you have games where you feel like you've just been absolutely outplayed and absolutely stomped. Back in the day, you would have had a different excuse for it, but because it was season 6 with dynamic queue, now you've got an excuse for it. Oh, it's dynamic queue, that 3-man pre-made got stomped, can't climb, impossible to climb. Now, the only real legitimate complaint I really found about dynamic queue is that it felt like it cheapened the kind of experience, so to speak. It cheapened what your rating meant if you're a solo player, because you were awarded a rating based off of what you thought you were personally achieving by being able to climb by yourself, and people were also being awarded the same rating based off of their ability to climb with friends, which is easier. So, you know, it kind of cheapened the rating a little bit, but that was really only the negative to it, and I think that was like, it's a significant negative, but it doesn't really justify all the stuff that was coming out in the community, and it certainly doesn't, you know, explain why you're stuck in gold or silver because you're always against 5-man pre-mates. It's kind of the same as well with season 7 coming out. Plant changes are coming. All these plants in the jungle, people are like, this is the worst thing Riot's ever introduced into the game ever. It's going to kill League of Legends. It's not going to kill League of Legends. Did Overwatch kill League of Legends when Overwatch came out? No, everyone was saying that Overwatch was going to kill League, and what happened? Oh, it was the most popular game in the PC bangs in Korea for like a month, and now League of Legends is the most popular game again. League has never had more players than it has right now. That is a fork coming out of my bowl. Overwatch didn't kill League of Legends. I think people wanted Overwatch to kill League of Legends because they felt a bit disenfranchised with it, and because they wanted to just justify their own kind of internal annoyance. It didn't kill League of Legends, and plants aren't going to kill League of Legends either, boys. Stop complaining about everything that gets put into the game that you're not sure about, that you don't like. Plants are like the most insignificant thing ever. All the complaints about plants in solo queue or in League of Legends came out when plants weren't even on the live servers. Vast majority of people hadn't even played with the plants. They didn't even know what they do. They still complain about it. It's not a big deal. The plants are really they're just a gimmicky. I don't really think they should be in the game. They don't really add anything, I don't think, but they're not the end of League of Legends. It's not a big deal. They're just shitty little things that grow and just exist. They don't really do anything. It's not a big deal. Not much has changed. There are loads of actual legit jungle changes that are happening that no one's talking about. No one's talking about the change to experience. No one's talking about that kind of stuff. No one's talking to the way that the jungle smite camp buffs, they've all gone. No one's talking about that. Because people don't really care about legitimate change, they just want outrage, and it kind of sucks, and it's annoying. Whew. But either way, I think we should be a bit more grateful for the stuff that's come out that has actually been good. Riot has made some things that you know, they made some changes to stuff, which is good. Sandbox is going to come out now. That's good. Good. Sandbox mode. Excellent. They're also making it so that replays are coming out. They've got a new client coming out. They're putting solo queue back as well. They're doing loads of things with the pro scene, like for funding and for this, like, scouting grounds. It's so many good stuff. Just focus on that, man. Don't focus on the few things that really didn't actually have as big an impact as you want to make it seem like it did. I'm not saying Shaw sucks right as a dick for no reason. A lot of the stuff that they're introducing, the positive stuff, is kind of fixing things that they've done poorly in the past. I would actually personally, that's my opinion. I mean, a bit of a negative way to look at it, but fair enough. But still, you know, there's a lot of good stuff going on still in League that, in my opinion, you should be focusing on instead. Either way, that's all I want to say for this video, boys and girls. I just wanted to get off my chest a bit. What do you think about this season? About how people have been moaning and complaining for the whole bloody season? Do you agree with me, or do you think I'm just like off my rocker and dynamic? You literally was Hitler. Either way, thanks for watching this video, boys and girls. We'll be continuing with our scheduled broadcast of Season 7 content starting tomorrow. Most importantly, boys and girls, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, of course, you can give me that cheeky thumbs up. If you didn't, you can give me a thumbs down as well, because, you know, you guys like making me cry, I suppose. It's all good. I don't care. Thanks for watching, guys. And I'll see you in my next video.